Ladies and gentlemen, primos and primas, this is Joe David Cantu from Hispanic News Online, and we are doing 30 for 30 Hispanic Heritage Month podcast series. We have been scouring the country and looking for Latino leaders, people who are entrepreneurs or leaders in their community by doing small projects or doing incredible, interesting stuff. So we're trying to bring you a little bit of all the fascinating Latinos that are out there. And I want to introduce you to a gentleman that has a really interesting story, and he's doing some really great stuff. I want to introduce to you my friend, Andrew Arana. Andrew, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's a pleasure being on this podcast. Hello to everyone. And I want to just thank you for the opportunity to be on 30 for 30.
Brother, you were busy, man. I was trying to get a hold of you, but, you were flying in and out of the country, meetings and all kinds of stuff, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, so people probably don't know who you are yet, but I want them to get to meet you. So give them a little bit about who you are and what you're doing, man, and where you're at.
Sure. Actually, I am currently in Jackson, Mississippi, and I got to Jackson by way of Hurricane Katrina back actually this year, now 10 years ago. And basically, in a nutshell, when I got to Mississippi, it was an unexpected place to be, as we all know, with everyone that was relocated to many different places. And so being here has been just a blessing in disguise. A little bit about me. I was born in New Orleans, and my family is from Honduras, Central America, from the coastal region, Northeast Coast, and the Roatan Island. And so, being a Honduran native, American Honduran native, has been different here in Mississippi. There are many Latinos that are here. But to see Latinos of color is something that is different for many Latinos that would be in the South. So, I wanted to be able to find a way to impact our people in our community. I went to Mississippi College in Clinton, Mississippi, and enjoyed my years there. But not knowing which way I was going to go, I decided to start a business that would be able to teach people on how to speak English, first and foremost, Latinos. But then I thought of something that was a little more creative, I guess you can say, which would be to communicate with those agencies that need to communicate with different Latinos in the area. And so that's when I began to reach out to those school districts and different agencies, both on the federal and state government level, to see if they can, if they would need such a service. And so now we are 5 years in, and we've been doing very well with a lot of impact that we've been making as what we call linguistic engineers, which are our interpreters. We don't just translate documents or just interpret. We serve as Hispanic family advocates, embajadores, if you will, ambassadors for these families, so they can be able to not only communicate with the schools and different agencies like Medicare, Medicaid, and things like that, but also an advocate for the agencies and the state government for the necessities, things that they need from us. And so we're kind of that bridge. We bridge the gap of communication between hablantes de español, Spanish speaking, and also the government side of things.
So what's the name of your company again?
The name of the company is Synergistic Communications. We also known as SynCom, SYNCOM. And we basically focus on synergy, energy, and vision in all that we do.
And you are based in Mississippi now, right?
Yes, we are based in where our home base is Jackson, Mississippi, Clinton area. but we go all over the world. Recently, I just got back actually a few days ago from Colombia. I went to Medellin, Colombia, and made some contacts there, working in with different hospitals and clinics and different things like that to do connection over here within the United States as well. And so I've been to Panama earlier this year to do some things there. And as a business, we're looking to expand into those countries to provide language schools and also education within the medical field.
Wow. Wow. Hey, I'm going to go back to the personal part a little bit for you. So
Sure.
I guess you're a little morenito, right?
I'm a little morenito.
So how is that to be, moreno, a Latino in in the southern states, man? Were you mistaken quite often for, um, what should we say this, a non-Hispanic?
Right. Actually, it's a huge culture shock because from my end, I get the question all the time because I look American,
Right.
and so I get the question. They always tell me, "Oh, you're black,"
Right.
and I say, "Well, no, I'm Latino," and so and that gets confusing. Then I get the confused look, and then even if I go to like another city, like a Miami or a Texas, or even when I was in Colombia, they look at me and they say, "¿Tú hablas español? Do you speak Spanish?" And so I get it on both sides. But being in the South as a little Latino morenito, it's a little different because they're not used to seeing people of color speaking Spanish. It's almost unknown. And so I think it is a little bit different of a culture shock, not only for me being here because of a lot of the normas and the things that are traditionally happen in the past. Culturally with the country and here in the South, and then people seeing a black Hispanic and speaking Spanish fluently is just something that's different.
Wow, that's really interesting. It's you can never walk in another man's shoes until and so your experience is probably really, really different than what I've ever had in my life. So that's kind of cool, though. Hey, so I was looking at your site, and man, you guys do a lot of stuff. You guys do stuff for the
Yep.
business. You guys do stuff for government. You guys do for individuals. So break it down for me. Tell me a little bit about what your company does in a little breakdown.
Okay, so we focus on three components. We focus on education, healthcare, and business services. So on education, is like I said before, we work with school districts. We pretty much contract with and it's all contract services, but we contract with the school districts, and we go in and say, hey, we are a bridge of communication to where we can basically handle anything and everything that has to do with your school district. We train teachers. We work with the students in the classroom. We provide several different programs that I've designed that partners with, for example, the Boys and Girls Club and different organizations like that to engage the new Hispanic children and students that are coming into the school district. And we also partner with Head Start agencies. I think that's a huge thing. So what I do is we speak to the Head Start agencies that are in those areas, and we say, we understand that your little Hispanic babies are coming in. They don't speak any English. Let me help them become bilingual. So then we do that. We have a 100% turnaround rate on that. So then getting the contract with the Head Start agency, then we work with the school districts as a whole. So then we have the entire county. And so on the education side. On the healthcare side, we're working currently on getting we're in the process of getting our national CME accreditation so that any healthcare provider can be able to get on our site, take the course, pay for the course, take the course, and then they'll have their credit, they'll have the Spanish, anything that they need for Spanish medical terminology, which is what we focus on. So we also do that. And then on the business services, of course, we have like our state and federal government agencies that we work with. For example, the Department of Corrections, which we work with, and we train people on how to do their job in Spanish if they're going to be in communication with people that speak Spanish. And so we work in that area. Of course, we also translate documents. We deal with what we call virtual interpretation, which is basically a FaceTime, and doing a video call, if you will. if need be. So we're in so many different areas, and we're well staffed to where we can be able to be versatile in that area. So it's very exciting because we're always busy. We're always doing something, and we don't sit down. You know, it's like we almost don't sleep. I remember you had asked me that before. You said, "When do you sleep?" So I managed to get some rest.
Wow, man. So not only do you guys provide services for the general public, institutions such as government agencies and stuff like that, but you also have programs that are targeting the Latinos in your area. Isn't that true?
Yes, that is.
So what kind of programs do you run directly to the Latino community?
So with the Latino community, you know, there's a lot of after-school programs. So right now we're working on getting into with, for example, more boys and girls clubs, and usually boys and girls clubs, especially down here, is white or black. And so you don't see too many Latinos that will be involved because of the lack of knowledge of the program. And so we educate the Hispanic families. Hey, there's a program where your child can be able to get involved in a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and help them get more adjusted into the school, which is all a part of their process, going from Head Start all the way to their senior year. And so we help them with that process. So we try to get involved with Boys and Girls Club. I've designed a program, which is a literacy program, focusing on Common Core, and new programs for the third graders can be able to pass their standardized testing as they need, and that the Common Core is fulfilled, from a state level. A lot of times, the percentage for the Latinos it's stated in there, but sometimes there's a little bit of inaccuracy with those numbers. But we don't want to be blamed as Latinos of the reason why the scores are so low. And so that's a big issue for me, is that they say, oh, well, the Hispanics, because they can't communicate, our score is so low. So we're trying to change that and make an impact in such a greater way. So we provide a program that's going to help them understand not only reading comprehension, but other concepts in that area. And so then when we help teachers to be able to work with us in junction with that. And so those are some of the programs that we actually do. And then finally, I have a program for parents to learn English. We want parents, Latino parents, to be able to understand what their child is learning in school, which will also help them learn English as well. And so I think that those channels are so amazing on what we're doing down here in Mississippi, and looking to expand into other states in the South and wherever we go.
So you basically do you go in and do these programs physically, or are some of these programs already like online that you can let's say that I'm here in Dallas and I have I'm having problems with communicating with the parents and stuff. Is it some kind of program that you already have set up that can basically help them, or do you come down and set it up specifically for me?
Well, currently right now, I go and set it up. We're looking to actually be more virtual and be more, more online to do services like that. But I like it personally to where I can go or send someone and create a program of where you're at based in through us to actually do that. Then you'll be set up. And so we're definitely we're expanding in that form to where we actually go and we plant that where you're at, so that, we can set it up perfectly, and we'll be right at the tip of your fingers. And so, but we're looking to actually do both, to not only just go set it up there, but to also be online.
So, Andrew, if there's a government agency or something, let's say in Idaho or in Wisconsin or somewhere where they're looking for somebody like yourself, all they just need to do is contact you, and basically you can come and set up something for them, right?
Exactly.
Pretty interesting, man. So, tell me what motivated you to do this.
That's a really good question. What motivated me to do this is I have a heart to help people. That's something that my family and my friends always told me. It's like, you're always, putting yourself first. And that's one thing I learned as a child. I've been an athlete. Yo juego fútbol and other sports. And I've played soccer, football, and I've always been a team player. And there's one thing that I've always learned from my soccer coach, is that the most important player on the soccer field is the one without the ball. And I use that concept always in everything that I do. Is I try to be transparent. At the same time, I want to make sure that everybody needs are met. So I don't mind passing the ball so they can score the goal. And so, but I want to make sure that that everything is effective and is done correctly. That's just a little bit of my, business OCD. But what made me start this is just I just have a heart to help people, and it kills me to see that there are Latinos that they're either afraid to ask or don't know how to ask. And so, if we're there and we say, hey, I'm here to help you, then they gain a sense of confidence, and then they'll be able to pass that on to others, because the way Latinos communicate is by word of mouth within each other's communities. And so, I really have a passion to help out our people. And that's from anywhere in Latino America. And it doesn't have to just be Latinos. It could be anybody that needs help. But mostly a lot of Latinos don't know how to communicate. So I really have my heart out to help and provide our services in any way, shape, or form.
So let's say I'm a Latino in, let's say, Encino, Texas, and I see a lot of need. My teachers aren't communicating with my kids. My police officers in the area don't know how to speak to me. And I'm listening to you, and I'm going, man, I could do that here. Could you help somebody start something like that there? Would you make?
I would actually be on the first plane there to help get that started, because that's what we're here for, and I think that's one of our that's our mission as a business, and as a people, is to help each other out.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna call you, dude.
Definitely. I'll be waiting on it.
Hey, man. I hope you touched on several things that have come across constantly on these podcasts, is that Latinos are willing to help. They just need leaders like yourself are ready to reach out and reach down and help people get started and find a new way and fulfill those spots that are needed in the community. And I'm so grateful for you guys coming on and talking to them and stuff and showing them that there's tons of possibilities out there. You just see a few of them, and you've plugged them in really nicely. What would you say to someone who's starting out or interested in getting involved in translation or in helping communicate, between agencies and stuff? What would you say to someone like that?
Number one, don't stop. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do, no matter what it is. And secondly, know your worth. That's one of the biggest things that one of my good friends, Lisa Page, told me, is to know your worth, know your capacity, and don't overdo it. And always be a team player. That's my third. Always be a team player. Nothing is ever just for you and being selfish. Involve everyone from the top level to the bottom. And that's the best thing I can honestly say, because those are some of the principles, just a few of the principles that I've followed for me to get to where I'm at today. And I'm very grateful for that.
So you were telling me that, and came from New Orleans and from a different population. Have you been back to New Orleans as of late?
I was just there this weekend, yes.
Man, that population, the Latino population in New Orleans has really grown, hasn't it, man?
Yes, it's grown a whole lot. Actually, in speaking to a few people there, they were begging me to come back and relocate back home, just because of the numbers have tripled, if not quadrupled, of Latinos in New Orleans. So I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about it because there's a lot of need in New Orleans. And before, when I was there growing up, most of your Latinos that you see spoke English. You spoke Spanish, and then you spoke English. Most Latinos, but now I found so many Hispanics that do not speak English, and there's such a need in construction and things like that. And that's one of the things I want to get into, is being able to train construction company teams so they can be able to go and fulfill and get more contracts and things like that. And so those are other direction and avenues that I want to go into, because there's a lot of construction workers that want to get these contracts, but because they don't know, they lose it, or they don't get it as much as they deserve. And so those are some of the new things that I want to do. And in New Orleans, there's just so many. You're right.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing. You turn a page, and next thing you know, there's a new story being told, right? It's
Yes, definitely.
Well, brother, you know what? I'm going to give you a few minutes. We're coming to the end of our conversation time, and I want you to give your information out and how people can get a hold of you, get to know your company. This isn't only going out to the Latino community. It's hopefully going out to the general market. So if anybody out there in the general market needs somebody like my buddy here, to Andrew, to get some help in connecting both communities, please reach out to him. Why don't you give him your information, how they can get a hold of you, man?
Sure. You could definitely find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Synergistic Communications. That's Synergistic Communications, or SynCom, SYNCOM. You could also find us at Ion SynCom. That's IONSYNCOM. You could definitely email us directly at, you could email me directly at andrew@ionsyncom.org. Okay, you can find us at www.ionsyncom.org. We actually have a new website that's going to be coming up soon, but you will be redirected to that one. Okay, you can also call at 601-955-0324 for any information that you need, quotes. If you want to just chat a little bit of what you're trying to do in your area, we could definitely make some arrangements to do a Skype call, video chat, or however you want to do that. But I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from the Latino community or anyone else that would like to do business and partner with Synergistic Communications. So definitely thank you for everyone, the entire country, of listening to this podcast. I look forward to not only growing, but also to be a positive impact in your city.
Brother, man, we've interviewed some other people in the past week and stuff that if you listen to the podcast, I think that you may even have connections with. I've told everybody I'm going to connect everybody together, but I think that some of you guys are going to be able to work together and form some relationships, and I hope that this gets out to everyone, not only the young, the old, anybody who has a need in their community, as linguistic, connecting, being able to communicate with services, stuff like that. Andrew's opening his heart and is here with us. I mean, he was so upset because I had an interview set with him a couple of weeks ago, and I just couldn't make it. And then we just kept going back and forth and stuff. And he said, I got to go out of the country. And I said, well, I'll wait for you. So I am so glad that I waited to talk to you and to get this information out to people, because it's worthwhile. There's so many little pockets out there of communities that need your services, and somebody who's even set up a sort of what you're doing, but or have a lot of roadblocks or have no way of knowing how to navigate that government agency, business side, and maybe they can reach out to you and you can help them with that, or get involved with them in some way and help them along. Brother, I'm going to give you a few minutes to say goodbye and say what's on your mind. Give them a little bit of corazón, and tell them what life is about and how what you feel about Latinos in the U.S. and for Hispanic Heritage Month. How about that?
Sure. This is a very important month for all of us, all Latinos. And I think that with everything that's going on, from the government side of things to the crime in the local towns, as a people, we need to stick together. And I think that progressing forward, especially those that are in school, keep pushing forward and keep getting that education. And those that are entrepreneurs, to never stop. Never stop. That's one thing about me. Es que nunca paré. I never stopped moving forward. and I'm still going today. And so it's never too late to start anything or do what's on your heart and fulfill those dreams. Coming out of Katrina, I didn't realize where I was going to be, where I was going to sleep, what I was going to do on the next day. But by the grace of God, He has put me in a place where He set me up perfectly. There's hay algún dicho in the Bible that says that He will never leave you nor forsake you. And I believe that nunca te va a dejar ni desamparar. And you have to believe that in your heart. And I've always believed that since day one, and it's been like that. So I thank God for all that He's provided and all that He's done in my life, and for my family here in Mississippi. I thank them for their support and all that they've done. And I thank you, Joe, for giving me this opportunity with Hispanic News Online and the 30 for 30. Muchas gracias a toda la gente. Thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing from you. Un placer. Thank you.
Oh, Andrew, awesome, man. You're right. Sin Dios no tenemos nada. Everybody,
Amen.
gracias for listening to us one more time. We are doing 30 for 30 Latino leaders for Hispanic Heritage Month, all month long. Come back and visit us tomorrow, and we'll introduce you to another Latino who is doing something incredible in some part of the U.S. Everyone is doing their part, small, big, little. It doesn't matter. As long as you do something, you get up, you do something about it, you find a niche in your community, and you help out, and that help will become something more. I guarantee you. So don't stay sitting, don't be complaining, don't argue, don't fight back. Fight back by doing something. These folks have opened their hearts, their calendars, and their address books, basically, and said, call them, reach out to them. If you need help, please reach out to them, and they will mentor you. They will assist you in any way you can. Once again, this is Joe David Cantu, JD from Hispanic News Online, and this is 30 for 30 for Hispanic Heritage Month, and come back and visit us tomorrow. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.